I am so pumped to tell you about the Dojo tactics trainer and regime. Now, I think the best way to begin is to say that the Dojo training program, right, is a curriculum for anyone, from absolute beginner to GM, right? And we have dialed it in. We're in our third year now, and we've dialed in exactly what people need to do to graduate to the next level, a 100-point band. What we realized was we needed a better way of doing tactics and a diagnostic for a person's tactical level. And that's what we've created, and that's what I'm going to be sharing with you today. So I think the best way to do this is just to look at a couple players of different levels and see how it works for them. Okay. So in front of us here, we have Michael Franco, friend of the dojo, big person in the dojo, and we have a tactics rating, and you can see here it's composed of three things: the tests, and the Puzzle Rush Survival, and the Polgar Mates. His tactics rating, 2110, matches very consistently with the rating he's got of 2128. Now, the Polgar Mates, we're going to use a test to do that diagnostic, like we have here with the tactical tests, and I'm going to show you how those work in a second. Once you then go down below 1700, Michael is above 1700, then what we realize is the Puzzle Rush 5-minute is a great diagnostic for those lower levels, and also will help you improve. After 1700, it's just too fast. People are doing a bunch of puzzles that are too easy for them, and they're not improving therefore, and it's not really the greatest diagnostic. But below 1700, we definitely use that. Now the tests, which I'm going to show you how they work in a second, are also tailored to a skill level. So we have 2000 plus, 15 to 2000, 1000 to 15, and below 1000, right? And so you are going to get a battery of tests, and it's going to be very difficult. It will be a legitimate test that you're going to sweat over, and that will give you a sense of where you are tactically. And in addition to, you're going to have that sweat is going to really force your mind to operate on a different level, a higher level. Okay. So that's Michael. Let me show you another person. This person is in a much lower cohort, and you can see here we have the Survival, the Puzzle Rush 5-minute, and the Polgar Mates. This person will also soon be doing a test, and that will be the fourth component of this rating group. Basically below 1700 is what the four components are going to look like that. And you can do 3 tests. We want you to do at least 3. You can do more, but your test rating will be the average score of those 3 tests, right? And let me show you how these tests work. Here's a sample. Okay, this is our sample that everyone can do before they start. It's different than other tests, and I think much better. So when you do online tests, it's really not like a game, because you're just going to be faced with one response. So for example, if you're doing Puzzle Rush, the way to game the system is to make what you think is the right first move, and then they're just, you might not know the answer to all the replies. Here you have to know all the answers, because what's going to happen is you have to write out everything, and then our algorithm will check it against what you've done. So you can write as much as you want, and as long as it's correct to like the base skeleton of what we're going to want from you, right, then that's fine. So for example, in this position, we're going to take, and the first tactical point is Queen G4, Rook E5. We're protecting the queen, attacking the queen. And next up, we have Knight G4. And this is actually a little bit tricky, because some players might play Rook G5 immediately, but then after F3, it's a little bit iffy. So this is much stronger. Rook G5, H3, F5. So you can see I've constructed the PGN myself, right? and the algo will see how close I am to what the answer is. I believe this is in fact the answer. You could go further if you wanted. If you wanted to play king h1, king g2, that's fine. No points would be deducted from you for that, right? So a different way of doing puzzles that's much closer to a real game experience. Now, here's another cool thing that we did. If we look then at a test, this is the people, these are kind of our beta testers for our first test. This was the 15 to 2000 test. And you can see, how we are able to construct a rating. And you can see where you are on the graph. The more people that take the test, of course, the more accurate the rating is going to get, and we're able then to recursively change the rating. So your rating after you get it might well change based on the results of other people. We're going to have hundreds and hundreds of people taking this test, for example, right? So the Polgar test looks very similar to this, right? And again, there too, we have 0 to 1,000, 1,000, 1,500, and 1,500 plus, so different levels of Polgar mates. For example, when you're an absolute beginner, we're going to start with mate in ones, right? And then we're going to have a couple mate in twos that aren't that difficult, okay? And of course, then 1,500 plus, it's going to get real, right? And you're going to have to see a lot of variations. So in a nutshell, there it is, the Dojo training program, different training components, different tests based on where you are, and then you can get a very clear sense of what you need to work on. The tests themselves are a piece of that work, and you can finally know where you stand. So many books when I grew up with, it was like test your chess IQ, positional stuff, and they would give a rough rating of where you think they thought you stood. Now we have it, we're gonna dial in the data. So super cool. I'm really pumped, and I hope to see you at the dojo.